the world-famous Hay Literary Festival on a very different stage. Abu Dhabi, the capital of the United Arab Emirates. For months, McNamara had been curating an event she hoped would celebrate freedom of expression and women's rights in a country not always best known for either. Hosted by this man, Sheikh Nahyan, his self-explanatory title, the Minister for Tolerance. One evening he phoned her directly for the first time and asked her to come for what she assumed would be a working dinner.
I was led inside by a doorman. There was photographs of Nahyan with the Pope, with the Rolling Stones, all of this very impressive stuff that for me just highlighted how important and influential this man is. He greeted me with a hug and he started touching my, arm, leg, encouraging me to take my shoes off. And that's when it suddenly dawned on me what was happening.
She says the driver had refused to tell her exactly where he was taking her, so she had no idea where she was and no way of leaving on her own.
It clicked that I was in this, kind of immense concrete and glass villa on an island with checkpoints without my phone on me.
Because they'd taken the phone?
Yeah, my handbag had been taken off me at the door. So I was just trying to find, go through in my head all the ways that I could clearly communicate to him that his attention was unwanted without jeopardising my safety or the festival.
It wasn't just that the entire festival had been underwritten by the Sheikh's ministry, but that as a member of Abu Dhabi's ruling family, the power imbalance between them could not have been more acute.
I was pushed down onto a bed or sofa and he hushed up his kundura and was naked and lay on top of me with his weight. It's terrifying. I couldn't breathe, and at that point I was pulling my dress down. I was wearing a sort of long dress and I was pulling it down to stop his hands going up my dress, but he put his hands inside me and was lying with his whole body weight on me, like forcefully kissing me. He was very frenzied, so I knew that it would get worse and that I had to do something, even if I was terrified of upsetting him. It only stopped when this other man came into view, so the Sheikh stopped when he came into view.
As soon as she did get away, she says she told her boss at the Hay Festival what had happened and spoke to the British Embassy in Dubai.
Although the Foreign Office are unable to give you explicit advice on what to do, the consensus from them was that it wouldn't be safe to report it there.
So much of the advice seems to be to go home.
My immediate reaction was actually that I didn't want to follow their advice by leaving, because although I was terrified of this man, I was also incredibly angry that I had worked so hard to create this festival, and why all that work should go to waste and why I should be the one that sort of has to leave after what he did.
Was there any suggestion from the Hay Festival that we simply can't go ahead with this now?
There were mistakes made in how it went ahead. It was very distressing to watch from afar as the man who had hurt me, Sheikh Nahyan, got on stage. To see someone like that being applauded for it and celebrated.
A spokesman for the Hay Festival said they were devastated to hear about the alleged attack and that they'd wished the festival had gone ahead without Sheikh Nahyan, not least because his actions made a mockery of his ministerial responsibilities. They said they'd learned profound lessons. Caitlin has also been disappointed with the response from the Foreign Office. Again, the focus, she says, simply on getting her out of the country. Was anything said about whether they would be pursuing it with Sheikh Nahyan or whether there should be any investigation into what actually happened?
The Foreign Office offered support in getting me onto the plane safely and connected me with British counselling organisations, but there was no indication from them that there would be any follow-up against the Sheikh.
And what did you feel about that?
Sorry, I just need a moment. I felt furious and upset. I would really hope that our Foreign Secretary would put pressure on the UAE government to remove this man from his state position.
She has reported her allegations, denied by the Sheikh, to the Metropolitan Police and is now waiting on the Crown Prosecution Service for a decision on prosecution.
There's no chance that Caitlin would get justice in the Emirates bringing a case against one of the royal family. Basically, they are the law. So we've got to encourage the Crown Prosecution Service to actually bring a case against this man because what he did against this woman was crime, and crime which can be prosecuted across borders.
The UAE are so influential in the UK. With Brexit, trade with the UAE is only increasing. I would love for the British government to stand up for me regardless of that, but with that amount of money and influence at stake in politics, I'm not hopeful.
I mean, it's quite an allegation to suggest that you're collateral damage in the politics of all of this. But is that how you feel?
Yes, that is how I feel.
Sheikh Nahyan's solicitor Shillings are on record saying he denies the allegations and is saddened by them. In a statement this evening, a Foreign Office spokesperson told us, "We take any reports of sexual assault abroad extremely seriously. Our staff here and in the UAE have been in contact with Ms McNamara and will continue to do everything we can to support her." And if you've been affected by any of the issues in our report, you can get help and information on our website at channel4.com/support.